Tensions rise as Iran threatens Strait of Hormuz closure. Welcome to today's International Affairs podcast. A new crisis is unfolding in the Middle East as tensions continue to rise between Iran, Israel, Hezbollah, and the United States. Iran has announced that it intends to close the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping routes. Iranian officials argue that the decision comes after what they describe as repeated violations of a recently announced ceasefire agreement involving the United States and Israel. However, American military officials dispute Iran's claims. According to U.S. Central Command representatives, commercial traffic is still moving through the waterway, and international shipping operations continue under close monitoring by U.S. naval forces. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow passage connecting the Persian Gulf to global markets. Roughly one-fifth of the world's oil supply passes through this route. Any disruption could have serious consequences for energy prices, international trade, and global economic stability. The latest dispute follows renewed violence in Lebanon. Although a ceasefire was announced with the goal of reducing hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, both sides have accused each other of violating the agreement. Israeli military officials say Hezbollah launched numerous attacks against Israeli positions in southern Lebanon. In response, Israel carried out airstrikes targeting locations it says were linked to Hezbollah operations. Hezbollah rejects those accusations. The group insists it remains committed to the ceasefire while claiming that Israeli forces have continued military actions inside Lebanese territory. Hezbollah says its attacks were defensive measures aimed at preventing further advances by Israeli troops. As fighting intensified, civilians once again found themselves caught in the middle. Reports from southern Lebanon indicate casualties among both civilians and security personnel, highlighting the continuing human cost of the conflict. Political observers warn that the situation in Lebanon could jeopardize broader diplomatic efforts currently underway between Iran and the United States. Negotiators from both countries are expected to meet in Switzerland, where discussions are scheduled to focus on implementing a recently signed framework agreement. Iranian officials have stated that they will demand concrete evidence that Washington is fulfilling its commitments before any further progress can be made. American officials remain cautiously optimistic. Senior representatives involved in the negotiations say technical discussions are continuing and that preparations for the talks are moving forward despite the growing tensions. At the center of the diplomatic effort is a 14-point framework designed to reduce regional tensions, improve economic relations, and create conditions for a longer-term agreement between Washington and Tehran. Key elements of the framework reportedly include an end to military operations, guarantees for maritime security, economic cooperation measures, sanctions relief discussions, and continued negotiations regarding Iran's nuclear activities. Yet analysts caution that agreements on paper can quickly unravel when violence resumes on the ground. Many experts now believe that events in Lebanon could become the greatest test of whether a broader peace process can survive. If hostilities continue, trust between negotiating parties may weaken, making future diplomatic progress far more difficult. Meanwhile, global markets are closely watching developments in the Strait of Hormuz. Shipping companies, energy traders, and governments around the world are monitoring the situation for signs of disruption. For now, conflicting statements continue to emerge. Iran maintains that the strait is closed, while U.S. officials insist maritime traffic remains unaffected. The coming days may prove decisive. Diplomatic talks in Switzerland, military developments in Lebanon, and the response of international powers could all determine whether the region moves towards stability or slides back into a deeper crisis. Thank you for listening. Stay informed, stay curious, and join us next time for another analysis of the stories shaping our world.